Well, good morning, everyone. It's been a while since we've been on for our podcast, and I'm excited about today's topic. We're going to talk about outdoor tourism, national and state parks, and it's one of the fastest growing segments of travel out there. And across America, we're seeing travelers place greater value on national, state parks, lakes, mountains, recreation, wellness, and authentic experiences. For hospitality companies, this trend is creating a tremendous opportunity, but also new challenges. To discuss how these shifts affect finance, technology, operations, revenue management, I'm joined by our illustrious team of Live Hospitality C-suite folks. So I'm going to let you go around the table, introduce yourself. Again, it's been a few weeks since we've been on, so I'm sure people have forgotten about you.
I'm Britton Simmonsma, the Chief Revenue Officer.
I'm Katie Radigan, the Chief Operations Officer.
I'm Ken Klug, Chief Financial Officer.
And David Kleinsma, Chief Information Officer.
And I'm Caleb Arsenault, the Chief Executive Officer. So getting into our first segment, the outdoor hospitality boom. So this question is for the entire panel here. So feel free just to chime in. What changes are you seeing in travel behavior today compared to 5 or 10 years ago?
I think made a lot of changes during the years of COVID to the outdoors and people getting back to camping and being outdoors and things like that, and traveling to resort destinations changed a great deal.
And specifically, South Dakota saw a massive shift in what baseline visitation looks like because of COVID. We were one of the only states that were open in the country, and we had massive visitation. So when things started opening back up, it was record numbers in attendance, right? And it was all driven by the great outdoors and the great outdoor experiences that we have here in the Black Hills.
There was a lot of remote work during that time too. You know, when COVID happened, we saw it in IT strongly. Everybody shifted to working remotely. And then it took a really long time for a lot of people to come back. So while they were working remotely, they were freed to do the travel and go places and see things. So we saw that.
Sure. And we're starting to see a shift of it going the other way, right? That's back to the office. It's back, a little less remote work. And I think that's all driven by cultural reasons, trying to create, teamwork and the company culture.
Yeah.
What other changes?
I really think the pandemic was kind of a reset on what people are looking for when they're traveling. When 10 years ago, it was, I'm going to find a hotel, the cheapest one I can find, or, whatever that looks or feels like. I feel like the mentality has really changed where they're really valuing, our travelers are really valuing experiences, full-blown experiences, and sometimes that comes at a different price point than what they were used to 10 years ago. But as long as it's a great experience and it kind of checks all the boxes on their list, they're okay.
Absolutely.
It's way more than just, I need a room for the night.
Yeah.
What can I see when I'm there? What can I do?
How easy will you make it?
Yeah.
Consumers are buying based on the experience that you offer, right? Yeah. Not just the room, the bed and the pillow and the ironing board, right? It's you want an experience, and you want to be in a space and a place that's meaningful.
We talked 10 years ago, we used to see a lot more people just walk in to a random place and I just need a room for the night. And now it's all on the front end, more planning and more online, and where do I want to be at?
Absolutely. Why don't we get into our finance segment here? Ken, we're gonna throw this one at you. Why are investors increasingly attracted to outdoor hospitality and destination-based travel assets?
I think it's a new opportunity to get into a different line than the traditional box hotel, right? I mean, you can go and you can create the experience, and it brings more. It's a newer segment opening up. I think you can be trailblazing and do a lot of different stuff on that side.
I think it's also become part of the birth of the short-term rental phenomenon that we've seen over the last 10 years. That is the experience, right? Those are the travel assets that create these very unique spaces. That's different than the hotel segment. So you've seen that become more prolific
Mhm.
across markets across the country.
You see it even, I mean, with the brands, the strong brands are moving to
Mhm.
renting Airstreams or tree houses, or I think it's going to be something that'll have some staying power for a while, which increases why investors are so interested in it right now.
Absolutely. Demand's a beautiful thing, right?
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah.
travelers are looking for. Let's move on to another question on the finance side. What makes a destination resort financially different from a traditional urban or town city hotel?
I think you have to offer all the ancillary services. You have to make things really easy for people. I mean, they want not a lot of hassle. They just
Mhm.
want to come in and everything just flows from the room charges in the restaurant to this and that and everything.
Mhm.
It's all the ancillary things versus just a straight box hotel where it's the front desk and that's it.
It's that integrated experience, right?
Right.
It's all there for me. It's all in one spot, and it's super easy, convenient, and the technology works, and that's so much a part of the experience. I think, especially in the outdoors, which is a bit of an oxymoron, right? Technology and being outdoors. Most people think it's a disconnect, but there's also opportunity to enhance that experience through that seamless experience.
I think the flow percentages are also not, if you look at it percentage wise, aren't great, but the top line revenue based on all of that, the seamless experience of the ancillary spend,
Mhm.
they definitely put more in the bank for sure.
There's a certain synergy of having
Hmm.
everything you can do pulls together.
You're catering to all family types or couples or singles or,
Right.
versus touching just your corporate traveler or just your family traveler.
Right.
And these national and state parks that we're so blessed to have surrounding us here in the Black Hills. And obviously, we have the magic of Custer State Park right in our backyard. But the food and beverage experiences,
Mhm.
the events, the trail rides, the Jeep tours, all of those activities and events that occur in these state parks is so critical to that experience.
Mhm.
And again, it's not the cookie cutter type experience. Consumers are looking for something different, something unique, something that's going to make memories for a lifetime.
Yeah, they do a good job too. I mean, you can fish or you can hike or you
Yeah.
can do nothing and sit by the campfire, but whatever it is you're looking for, a lot of those cater again. Just any experience you're kind of looking for, you can find it.
Each
That's
person
right.
can carve out their own different experience while they're there.
Mhm.
So, another question on the finance side: how should owners think about investing in assets that may be seasonal but have exceptionally strong demand periods?
If you have a really strong demand period, you need to have top-notch facilities or it's going to break down with that much use. It will. It'll just wear out, break down.
Mhm.
People will be disappointed, unhappy. It seems like, oh, it's very seasonal, but it's all your season is made in 3 or 4 months.
It's just so concise, right? It's all accelerated within a very short
So
period of
compact.
time. You're getting the same amount of traffic in 60 or 70% of the time frame, right? So, yeah, it does create that traffic and the wear, if you will, on the facility to that owners are going to have to reinvest in. You got to keep it fresh. People expect an amazing product, and without it, it does taint the experience.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
um, you know, I'm very proud of Live Hospitality. We do a great job. Our ownership, we reinvest in our product, and it's something we've done for years, and we're so proud of providing the best possible product to the guests that are coming here to the Black Hills.
Mhm.
What's one financial misconception people have about destination resorts?
I'll be honest, I really don't know what their perceptions really are, let alone a misperception.
Mhm.
Do people think it's cheap? It's outdoors.
That's probably one. Yeah.
I think price is oftentimes the leading
Yeah.
decision, all right? The reason people are making a decision to visit, they're shopping price. But these newer generation of travelers are all about the experience, and they will find the money as long as the experience is amazing.
Mhm.
So I think one misconception might be that, hey, this is an outdoor space, so it's really inexpensive. Now, I will say, when you look at the national picture, I think I know our area is an affordable destination. So when you compare it to maybe Utah, Salt Lake City area, some of these larger metropolitan areas where they have all of these amazing state and national parks, we are the affordable option.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I think that's something that's really, really important for us to convey to our people, visitors coming to the Black Hills. Okay, let's switch some tech, David. When people picture an outdoor destination, technology isn't usually the first thing that comes to mind. Why should it be?
Well, I honestly don't think it should be. I mean, they're coming out for the experience, as you were talking about, the family memories, the scenery, um, memories, and everything that they can achieve by going to that destination. If technology is working the way it should be invisible. It's going to provide all those conveniences, all those things that they just simply expect to be there, and it's not forefront in any sort of the planning steps at all.
It's not going to smack you in the face,
Right.
but it's going to make the experience seamless.
Right.
And it'll be in the background. We don't have 8-foot diameter satellites sitting out in the yard to beam all our internet. Like, it should be in the background. It should be veiled. It should be what creates a seamless experience.
But it should be there and should be functional when it's expected to be.
It definitely will break the experience if it's not.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. Like, if I am trying to TikTok while I'm laying in bed and I can't, it was very frustrating. I don't care really anything else, but I will remember that.
And that'll impact their revisit, later.
And that's the authentic and genuine organic marketing side that we all need in our businesses, right? So if you don't have access to Wi-Fi to be able to stream and to post some of this stuff, as a business, you're actually losing out on that organic, genuine, authentic marketing that comes through social media.
And the other thing, I think you have to have a very strong IT backbone to make your internal systems work. So the guest experience is seamless and it's smooth versus like, oh, I can't check you out of the room. Our internet's down.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
That leads right into the next question, right? How does technology help operators manage these large, geographically dispersed hospitality assets? Communication is everything, right? For the guest experience, it's everything. So how does technology help?
Well, as organizations grow and they become larger and more geographically dispersed, complexity just compounds. It gets more and more difficult. So, everybody's going to need to have systems that work, that provide those consistent processes, that are able to make the decisions to what Ken was saying there, and have all that data and information at their fingertips. In addition, we kind of talked about this before, guests just want these things to work. So, we usually need tools and systems in place to centrally manage, to have everything there at our fingertips. We don't want to be doing things the old school traditional way of physically traveling to the site all the time, because that just takes time, it causes delays, and then, the staffing and labor involved is a whole nother conversation. But yeah, managing modern tools and using them to our advantage.
What are technology trends that will reshape hospitality over the next decade? We've talked about this in other podcasts. Like, how does technology play? How about specifically to these outdoor experiences that we see in our state and national parks?
Well, I think a lot of people want me to say AI, and I'm going to say AI. AI is definitely going to play a big role here. But, where it finds its place is, the conversation that we need to have is, it's going to be bringing out a lot of those automations and taking it away from the staff and allowing the staff to really interact with the guest and help create those experiences that they're coming to have. So anywhere that we can find a place to fit something in, to take out all the minutia of the work, that's where we should be having a discussion of if AI makes sense to fit it in that area. So in the next decade, we're going to just be seeing more of that. And we're going to see, in my opinion, these AI agents just working right alongside human employees, and they'll work side by side to get the job done.
Any other thoughts in the next decade? What will we see?
I think what we're already currently seeing will be amplified. So, your seamless arrival and departure experiences where you really don't have to stop and speak with anyone. I think that goes more, it'll morph more so into your F&B world too, where, again, you're going to have hosts, but in terms of ordering or, some of those things, I think a lot of that will get less, depending again on the experience as a consumer you're looking for. I think there's a mix of both happening. There will always be a mix of both happening. But I think the technology side of that becomes a bigger part of our operation, from retail kiosks, front desk kiosks, or no kiosks at all, and it's all through my phone.
I think the people connection, like we've talked about before, and like you were saying, it's always there, but it's going to allow people to talk more about how can I enhance your experience and all the details, the fine details, and the checking things off and renting things and all that stuff is more seamless, but the people's still there.
It's to enhance the visitor experience, right? I hearken back 100 years ago when Calvin Coolidge was in the State Game Lodge, right? They probably weren't talking about how technology was going to drive the experience there. But what they might have been talking about was how's power? How's running water? How are these creature comforts going to play in the experience at the State Game Lodge? Today, it's shifted to technology. So we're at a point now where technology is an expectation, and it's as important as having power for your lights in your room and running water. The technology, the expectation there, especially with this the new generation of traveler, has got to be there, and it's in the background, and you can choose to unplug if you want to or not, but the option has to be there, and it has to work. Let's move on to operations. Katie, we're going to put you on the hot seat. What are the unique challenges of operating hospitality businesses where the destination itself is the attraction?
Gosh, that's a good one. I think let's think about Custer State Park or Waikiki is another good one. I always try and think of the staffing, the front facing staff are different than checking into a standalone box. They're really concierges. They have to really know the area. They have had to have experienced the area. When you're coming in looking for an experience, you don't want something that you can find on Google. 90% of the time, you're looking for your local hotspots, your best restaurants, the best hiking spots, the best fishing spots, kind of those things. And so really making sure our team is experiencing that and is able to provide recommendations when they're asked for that is a unique challenge, because it's not something you need at Disneyland.
And I think the guest is looking for the inside track.
Totally.
They want the secret spot,
The hidden
best
gems.
fishing hole, right? They want to know. They want the inside info from a local or someone who's experienced it. They don't want to go where 10,000 other people have gone. They want to go to the special spot. So yeah, I totally agree with that. When I think about challenges, one thing that comes to mind, I just experienced the amazing event at Mount Rushmore for America's 250th, and that is obviously a destination in and of itself, right? People are visiting because of Mount Rushmore, and it's this bubble of people that come through all at one time on these massive events like this that create some operational challenges, right? How do you deal with 10,000 people coming through those gates and be able to serve them food and beverage, to be able to provide a safe environment for them to be in, to be able to answer questions, to be able to provide the product that they all expect. And it is a challenge, and it comes down to having an amazing team that is well-trained, that are briefed, that are empowered, that can actually make decisions and make things happen. So that's a unique challenge of the destination of it itself being an attraction versus, XYZ hotel where guests are checking in, over the course of time. You have this big bubble of business that comes through that you have to deal with and be staffed for. And that's so critical.
The Sturgis Rally is another great example
Absolutely.
of just a huge surge of travelers coming into a really small area.
Right.
This episode of the Hospitality Playbook is brought to you by Live Hospitality. Did you know Live Hospitality operates 13 hotels, 4 premier resorts, and a portfolio of standout restaurants? Behind every exceptional guest experience, culinary innovation, and high-performing team is a management group built for results. Whether you're an independent hotel owner looking to elevate performance or a new investor seeking trusted operators, Live Hospitality offers full-service management built on decades of operational excellence. From luxury to leisure, every touchpoint is tailored to your property's identity while driving strong returns. If you're thinking about what's next for your property, think Live. Let us show you what's possible when passion meets performance. Visit livehotelgroup.com, that's LIV hotelgroup.com to learn more.
Why is staffing different in seasonal or destination-driven markets? That is the definition of where we operate here in the Black Hills, right?
It's the peaks and valleys of it all, right? Like getting prepared for peak season is never easy. It doesn't matter how many times you've done it. Your workforce changes every single year. And so really adapting to who you're training to become those service ambassadors, right? Like we just spoke about. I mean, it's important for them to really understand what our travelers are looking for. So we really hire for attitude, but then it's fast. We have literally probably 15 to 21 days to, increase our staff by 30 to 40%, which is no small feat.
And I think you mentioned the most important part of that is training, right? When you equip and you provide confidence to the team and knowing what they're doing and train properly makes all the difference in the world. And we're fairly practiced at that. We gotta get the team going in a very short period of time, and it's a new face every year, right? It's a new team every year that we have to. It's like that McDonald's process where it's the same every time. We just get it done. We know how to do it, and the team. You have a core around them, and it's they're all working together, holding each other accountable, and helping each other.
The other part of that or piece of that which is something we preach and practice, is just making sure you have all the tools you need, all of the resources you need. Like when you're preparing to go from, 60, 70% occupancy to 100% occupancy, there's a big shift in supply changes too. Hiring a team member and giving them a broken piece of equipment is the worst thing you could ever do. So working really hard to really ensure our management leadership team pays special attention to those things too when onboarding.
So the next question is probably one of my favorites, and I can't wait to hear your answers on this one. What separates a great destination hospitality operator from average operators?
Flexibility and being able to shift rapidly. Like Katie was just talking about, as we go into peak season, it's really easy to sort of get in patterns and habits during the slower season where it's just not as intense for everybody. As a company, we have to shift everybody's mindset every year going into peak, to being prepared with supplies, to having the right levels of staffing, to having that engagement level for everybody.
So what do average operators do then? Like, I think we're great at it. I mean, we always talk about the switch, right? We got to flip the switch. Peak's here. Let's flip the switch, and let's not miss that timing, right?
I think sometimes average misses the switch. Can be too early or too late to the party.
Yeah.
They just stay in the grind. The mindset doesn't change. It's just show up every day, do your thing, go home, and not think anything more about it.
Katie, anything to add there?
Yeah, I mean, I always will resort back to the team and kind of the investment into the team, right? Like, it doesn't happen by misstep. When you're turning on that switch or turning off that step and preparing, 30 or 40% more associates than you're accustomed to for the last 4 or 5 months, investing in them and making sure that they understand that they're really here for a purpose or a reason, and getting their buy-in. If you don't do that, your guests are walking into a gas station checkout, which is just not the experience we want.
Right. It's back to training too, right?
Mhm.
Empowering the team, making sure they have every resource at their fingertips they need to create amazing experiences. It comes down to people. I totally agree, Katie. I mean, I'm a sports guy, of course, and I just liken it to a sports team. I mean, you have to have talent, and that talent has to be trained, and that talent has to be unleashed and allow them to do what they're great at. And the most talented team wins.
Mhm.
And we hire for talent, tangible and intangibles. We have to have talented people. And we've been very fortunate and blessed to have incredible talent around our company. And it makes everybody else around them better.
Mhm.
Let's go to question. Let's see here. What operational lessons can traditional hotels learn from outdoor destinations? My answer to this would be experiences. I think the outdoor destinations provide experience better than anything else because it is who they are at their core, right? These state national parks are destinations. And you start eroding that experience, you erode the demand for people to want to visit that, right? So you have to take care of that outdoor destination, be the steward that it deserves so that experience is never blemished. It's got to be pristine. So I think that's something traditional hotels can learn from those outdoor experiences, that you got to protect the anchor, the core, the magic
Mhm.
at all costs.
Yeah, I agree. I think, again, from check-in to room condition to departure, I mean, even if a traditional hotel has an indoor pool or an outdoor pool versus, Custer State Park or the Badlands or anything like that, the experience for the guest has to be the same. They may not have the same natural beauty. They may not have the same events or, all of those things, but great service, clean rooms, and great condition. And protecting that from A to Z for the guest experiences is crucial.
Let's shift gears a little bit to revenue management. And Britton, we're going to put you on this hot seat. I'll start with the question: how do you maximize revenue in destinations where demand is highly seasonal?
We sort of talked about it a little bit, but the season can be really short. So you got to do a lot of planning and forecasting and know when that season is coming, when it's here. Make sure you're ready for it. The slow season, it's more of a bit more of creating value and creating events to attract visitors to your location. Where the high demand, they're here. So how are you going to enhance the experience? What else can you offer them while they're here?
So that's the revenue optimization side, right? Where those experiences all factor into, the total RevPAR that you have for the resort.
It's way more than just the room rate and the room revenue.
How do guest expectations differ in experiential destinations? So tying that back to revenue management, how do you set rates? What do you charge? How do those expectations differ?
It is more about what else can you offer them. The having the restaurant available on site, having the tour available, offering maybe some upgraded parking, sort of augmenting the room how we can.
And again, I think people are willing to pay for experiences.
Mhm.
I think if it's a high quality experience, rate will follow it.
Yep.
But the expectation is great service,
Yep.
clean room,
Got to deliver.
great condition. Like the execution side of that, it absolutely has to follow. Again, if they have a great experience, it's great word of mouth. But if they have a bad experience, like it will tenfold. The rate doesn't matter if the guest experience is awesome.
Yep.
And people are willing to pay for quality.
Mhm.
So if it's a quality experience, I think people generally feel really good about their investment.
Mhm.
And that's what it is. It's an investment in making memories and in enjoying something that you've probably been planning for months, maybe even years.
Mhm.
What will revenue management look like 10 years from now? Let's look in the crystal ball. You're going to go with David, right? You're going to go AI, bots.
With people.
Yeah.
I'm with David. It's going that way. It helps us in so many ways, but we still never get away from the people side.
So I want to talk about Custer State Park again. Our backyard, I think it's a great example of this outdoor destination that we're talking about today, and kind of how all of this kind of wraps into what makes an experience in an outdoor space. So if we use Custer State Park as a case study, it's obviously South Dakota's premier destination, combines lodging, food, retail, recreation events, and outdoor experiences all into kind of a single ecosystem. So I'm just going to go rapid fire questions to you guys. So just chime in as you have an answer. But what makes a destination like Custer State Park successful?
It's unique. I mean, people come from a long ways away to see what is in
makes
our
it unique?
backyard.
What makes it unique?
Driving down a road and seeing bison or mountain goats or all the different wildlife that's
Wildlife.
there. The terrain is
The views,
the views,
the
lakes.
hikes, the lakes. I mean, there's lakes all over, but it's beautiful scenery here.
It's been well protected, right? It's
It has
pristine,
been well protected, yeah.
And the ability to stay in an environment like that kind of seamlessly just kind of allows you to experience it is special. I agree.
It's also accessible to every type of traveler. So
Mhm.
you can experience it from the car, or if you're a rock climber, that's a really athletic person that can go do that. You can leisurely experience it from the side of the lake, or just have a nice meal. Like it's open to everybody.
Hike, motorcycle ride, bike
Yeah.
ride.
It's one of my favorite motorcycle rides in the hills. It's
Through the needles.
absolutely amazing.
And I think even, if we talk about the lodge and the locations themselves, there's a lot of history
Yeah.
with a lot of
Mhm.
those. There's a lot of, memories and things to talk about those specific places that we also need to look to protect and maintain and help keep that story going.
So the destination is successful because it's special.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not cookie
Yeah.
cutter. It's not something you'll find at every bend in the road. It's special. The experience is special. The environment is special. It's incredible. So leads us to the next question. How do you balance conservation with commercialization? Right? I just spoke about you can actually stay in this amazing space.
Mhm.
How do you balance that and still make it an amazing space?
I think you commercialize with conservation being your top priority. So really, just like you have to think of the park or the lakes or the views and the hikes as you would an asset, as you would a hotel box or a restaurant box, or the number one thing we keep in mind is the condition of it, the maintenance of it, the cleanliness, the accessibility. I think that is the objective.
So you make it priority one.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You conserve, and then you commercialize,
Mm-hmm.
which augments the conservation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. I think conservation has to be number one. That is the core anchor of why people go to Custer State Park. At the end of the day, they're going to see the wildlife, they're going to see the amazing vistas, they're going to see the hiking trails, they're going to, feed the wild donkeys. Like it's an experience that is the demand driver for people to stay there. So I totally agree. It has to start as priority number one. What visitor trends are emerging at Custer State Park? Our 13 hotels in and around the Black Hills of South Dakota all benefit from Custer State Park. We have people stay with us to go experience the park. So what trends are emerging with those visitors? What are you seeing?
Well, I think they expect a lot more, I don't know, technology, upgraded experiences.
Amenities.
That's, the correct phrase, yeah.
Totally agree, Ken. I think you hit the nail on the head. The trend is blending technology with the outdoors. My wife and I enjoy Custer State Park and went up and stayed, and I had a difficult time connecting to Wi-Fi, which makes it difficult for me to breathe. Like physically, I have some issues with that. But you got to be able to connect, and I think everybody's a little different. Some people need to disconnect, right, to be completely off, but you can still do that as long as you have the infrastructure of kind of blending in the technology to whatever level the guest expects and wants. So we have to provide the backbone in order to do that. So that's definitely a trend I think that's emerging, Ken.
It feels a lot different to disconnect and know that it's there if I want it or I need it than to disconnect and not have an option.
Yeah, it's pretty savage to not have any connectivity. I just can't fathom it.
I know.
Barbaric. I think we're also seeing a lot more multi-generational travel. And that expands not even from just family, but also outside, family, like close friends. Pets. Britain is a great one. Pet travel. It's the number one emerging trend right now. Guests want to travel with their furry friends, and being able to allow that in an outdoor space where they're not walking on turf to use the restroom in a 10-foot by 10-foot path is really awesome for those travelers. But also, grandma isn't very far away, and if grandma wants to hang out in a camp chair and eat a s'more, she can, or, hang out in the air conditioning. That's another big thing. Just, again, kind of some of those amenities. So,
yeah, the multi-generational travel has been ever increasing, which is really cool. I see it in my own life. Like we do it. It's and it's a great experience. It's the experience I'm looking for and willing to pay for.
And it's even better. Like Custer State Park does a really good job. There are also some but having the space where your whole family can stay in the same cabin-ish, but also have a door and a bathroom by myself is really cool. So if I want to kick my 6-year-old out to go hang out with grandma, I can, and still close my door and, without running up and down the hallways and, or down the road to another cabin. Just the size fluctuation that the park offers in cabin size is also huge.
I think there's been a lot of thought put into that. I think the park has done a really good job of designing space that allows for what you just described. And the team there does an amazing job. I mean, the park boasts an amazing team of people. My experiences there have been really good, which is all part of that multi-generational travel. I mean, we all have different expectations with our different generations, right? And having a team that can mold and help and assist and read the nonverbals, understand what the expectations are from the guests is really important.
And I think we talked about it earlier, but it's that experience-driven traveler is what we're seeing more of these days. They want to experience that outdoors, that unique space, the special, that way you talked about earlier.
Okay, I just have a couple more questions for you guys. This is open to the entire panel. Just feel free to chime in. 4 questions. We'll go through them pretty rapid here. First one, what trend will most impact hospitality in the next decade?
I think creating unique experiences will be part of that. The ability to create something that you can't get just anywhere else.
Something more than just a place to stay.
Right. It's just more than a hotel room.
With Ken, I think we're seeing it, and it's just going to continue.
And it affects all traveling segments, from tour bus to corporate to, I mean, there is something to be said about the corporate traveler 10 years ago to the corporate traveler today. I mean, they are definitely, again, looking for the experience or the amenities.
I would also throw in, I think one of the trend that will most impact hospitality is going to be technology. Historically, our industry is usually 10 years behind the technology curve. It takes a long time, if you think about the scope and scale of our industry, to implement new technology is really difficult, right? At mass scale. But I think over the next 10 years, you're going to see technology seamlessly, and we're already starting to see it, but seamlessly integrated into the visitor experience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be in the backdrop. It's not going to be at the forefront. It's not going to smack you in the face. It's going to make it convenient and comfortable.
I'm waiting for those robots to start coming. I mean, I'm seeing them advertised anymore. You know, you can pick one of those up for $5,000,
Mhm.
7,500.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be making beds soon.
It will.
I tell you.
Well, we could use the help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, next question. What guest expectation has changed the most?
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
If you don't have Wi-Fi in your room, you're calling somebody, and you're going to get it fixed right now.
Right.
Whereas 10 years ago, Wi-Fi, I don't know.
Yeah.
My cell phone works.
You could live without it, right? Well, and I think most of our state and national parks, I think the reason why Wi-Fi is so important is generally cell service is a little spotty, right? It's not as available. And we are in a connected world, like it or not. And you can go there and disconnect if you want, or you can connect. But without the cell service that being reliable, it's really important that there's communication, there's a Wi-Fi network, so communications can happen, both internal and external.
And I agree with all of that. It has to be there. I don't know if it is changing most recently. I mean, I've felt that it's had to be there for quite a long time at this point.
Well, you are the IT guy.
It's kind of an expert. Yeah. In my mind, I think it's that, they want personalized experiences. You know, they want to feel special. They want to come out and feel these authentic experiences, but yet maintain the conveniences that they're used to.
You know, back in the day when I used to do orientation all the time, I always used the analogy of a snowflake. Service to every individual guest is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a snowflake. Like every snowflake is different. And you have to read it. You got to look at it. You got to read the nonverbals. You got to ask questions. You got to help. You got to try to understand what does that guest expect? And because it is changing, I totally agree. And delivering a personalized experience depends on how well I understand your expectations, right? Otherwise, I'm walking through the dark. So having a team that's trained to understand, read, ask questions, and be available to the guest is so critical. What hospitality concept is currently underrated? Most underrated hospitality concept?
I think stewardship. You know, it's all hotels or lodging establishments. You're there for a reason, to serve the traveler that is coming to your region for something. But you should be there and you should care for that reason and help develop it and help protect it and maintain it and enhance the experience wherever you can. So I think a lot of hotels might be, just sitting back and looking at their whole organization rather than having that larger view of things.
I think having a guest-facing worker that cares and
Mm-hmm.
goes out of their way to fix a problem versus just like, well, that's not my deal.
Mm-hmm.
I think the human touch is how I would describe the most underrated concept, because there is this focus on technology, but technology without that human interaction is empty. We have to have the heartbeat, right? So, yeah, I think it's the human touch is underrated. while we're
Easily,
speeding towards this technology boom, right?
yeah. With the technology and the experiences that we've been talking about, it's just the person can easily swing it one way or the other for the guest.
Okay, last question. If you could invest in one travel segment today, what would it be?
I really want to say pet travel, but that's, kind of a personal one for me.
It's a big deal, though.
It is.
Really is a big deal.
Having a dog now, where travel was much easier before having a pet, but not easy to leave him home for any length of time. But it's also not easy to find great places for him while we travel.
So you would invest in the pet travel experience.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Like, what do you need as a traveler with a pet?
In a dream world, like it's not a big deal, or it's not like taboo to have the dog here with me, and maybe even have a place for him to play during the day if I went somewhere that I couldn't bring him with.
Okay. Doggy daycare.
I'm just throwing out
Yeah.
a
That's
big
a real
one
thing,
here.
though.
It
It's
is.
very
It
much a
is.
real
Real
thing.
thing.
Even in Rapid City, there's
Yeah.
places where you can take your dog to interact and socialize.
I take mine.
I mean, if you're not pet friendly, you're giving up an entire segment
Yeah.
of traveler,
An expanding segment.
ever expanding.
Yeah.
Number one growing segment, right, Katie?
I always play it safe and say corporate. I'm the safe player, but I mean,
Corporate travel's big.
corporate travel's big. It will continue to get big. And we have the ability to use that to our advantage and grow the leisure side of it too. Especially as a destination place, as a destination that we are, we really have some opportunities there.
Okay, a fill in the blank closing question here. The future of hospitality belongs to blank.
Yeah.
Now everybody else,
Yeah.
all their minds went blank. You just nailed it. Bold thinkers, bold actors. You gotta be able to act, right?
Got to be able to get to the space first. Or in the front end.
So we're all in agreement. Ken nailed it with bold. That's really
You
good.
did good.
Well, I'm going to wrap us up here, but the future of hospitality isn't just about buildings, brands, or room counts. It's about creating experiences people can't get anywhere else. Whether that happens in a downtown hotel, a resort, a national park, gateway community, or a destination like Custer State Park, the companies that succeed will be those that combine great operations, smart technology, disciplined financial management, and memorable guest experiences. That's where the future of our industry is headed. And that's what makes me so excited about being a part of this industry. And it's ever changing, so dynamic, and it's built for the bold. Let's be bold. Any final thoughts from any of you guys? Appreciate you being on today. You guys knocked the rest off really well. It's been a while since we've been on the podcast. But it's been great being with you. Look forward to the next time. And give us a like, give us a follow. We appreciate you guys joining and listening to our Hospitality Playbook podcast. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You.
5 voices, 1 mission. Welcome to the Hospitality Playbook.
How do I stop this thing?
No.